This is the away section, where when there's a big travelling support would gather here. And then beyond that is Grosvenor Park itself, which is the greyhound section of the ground, which we're not going into because unfortunately Grosvenor Park didn't contact us in time. As for the name of the stadium, again just going back to that, it's got pretty much 3 names. Unofficially it's called Ballysky, after the village where it's located. Officially, one side of the ground on a football day is known as New Grosvenor Park, in honour of the old Grosvenor of Broadway in Belfast. And if you're wondering where old Grosvenor is, if you ever drive across the West Link in Belfast, you're pretty much driving over the centre of that old ground. And then, on a Saturday evening, the name of the ground changes completely to Grosvenor Park and becomes a greyhound racing venue. Coming back round to the main entrance of the ground again now, and this is where you can get a bite to eat. So go and check out the burger bar, and then I think it might be time for a pint. Best part of any GROUNDHOP, a pint. $2.60 a pint at the social club here at Lisburn Distillery. Harp, curling, bass and tennis. You can also get, of course, Bacardi Blazers, Smirnoff Ice, glass of wine, and all of your favourite shorts from behind the bar as well. Of course, it's not like this at kick-off time. I'm here very, very early to make sure that I can get a pint nice and quick before the fans arrive. The 1963 Irish Cup winners. Seems like a good place to start for a trip into the most exclusive part of the ground. This is the executive lounge, and this is where you'll come if you were to sponsor the club for a match day. Today the match sponsors, might as well give them a plug seeing as they're doing it, is Crew Nurseries. And they'll come here today to watch the game. So they've got a TV, etc. The bar actually goes back through into the social club bar, but they'll have their own service here. And when it comes to kick-off, they get to come in here for the exclusive part of watching the game. As you can see, the view's very, very good from in here. And you can imagine on a very cold Boxing Day, this would be a nice place to watch the match. Although if you happen to be sitting in this seat, perhaps not, because there's a pillar right on the goal, but I'm sure they could work around that. Burger bar down there at every home game. I was having a quick chat with them earlier. I'll nip down again and have a chat with them before kick-off. Because at the moment I'm enjoying a pint in a relatively empty social club, which is great. But nice facilities that they offer for the sponsors. A lot of pictures up on the wall as well of the great teams that Lisburn Distillery have had, or Distillery I should say really, because most of the success was as Distillery have had down the years. I know most kids dream about playing in the English Premier League, but if you happen to find yourself playing in the Irish Premier League, this is where you'll find yourself at least once a season. That's the players' tunnel. I'm not going to film too much more because Glenavon are in getting ready on one side of me, Lisburn Distillery are in getting ready on the other side of me, so I'll leave them be. Lisburn Distillery had a fire, as I was saying earlier, in Grosvenor Park in 1971, and a lot of the club's memorabilia, records, statistics were all lost in that fire, so it really is remarkable that they've managed to put together a museum. And it's credit to Jed Irwin, who does 1,000,001 things at Lisburn Distillery, as everybody in Lisburn Distillery does. As I was saying earlier, probably like most clubs in the Irish League, volunteers are really much needed. Now, up here, the first thing that was pointed out to me that's really interesting are these medals. These have been donated to the club to display on behalf of the family of Tom McClatchy. Now, Tom played for Distillery, as it says there, from 1891 to 1899, and was also an Irish international back in the days when it was the Ireland national team. And he's got 3 medals there, including an Irish Cup winners medal in 1896. Moving on down, various pictures of Distillery players, famous Distillery players. It's like the old cigarette cards you used to see. Well, not in my generation obviously, but back before the war, you used to see the players posing in front of goal mouths and things like that. And a lot of memorabilia from Dunville's Distillery, who, as I said earlier when I was walking around the ground, pretty much backed the club and helped them get off the ground in 1880. A minute book that survived here, or minute books, from the 1890s, which would have been a great period in Distillery's history, when they were right up there as one of our, not only Northern Ireland but Ireland's leading clubs. Completed 2 League and Cup doubles in, if I remember rightly, 1899 and 1903. The 1903 team has a photograph up in the Supporters Club lounge, which I'll take a look at later on. There's a few famous faces that played for Distillery. You see Billy Hamilton up there, who was a manager at the club and a player manager at the club in the 90s. But if you're a fan of football in the West Midlands, there was a gentleman that played for Distillery back in the 1880s called John Reynolds. And John is unique in Irish football because John played for Ireland against England and for England against Ireland. He came over here as a youngster and signed for Distillery and played with distinction for the club and was capped by Ireland. In fact, he scored both goals the first time that Ireland held England to a draw. There's a whole list of great players that have followed on. Most recently, probably in terms of players who went on to play in the English League, Martin O'Neill, who won the European Cup with Nottingham Forest in 1980. Martin was in Distillery's 1971 Irish Cup winning team, and there's a picture of that team up here, and you'll see Martin, top right hand corner. Tom Finney once played for Distillery. Now Tom Finney's registered as having been a one club man all his life.
There's no Tom Finney in that picture.
I've just been pointed out there's a Tom Finney. That's true, actually I read this. There's a Tom Finney in the 1971 Irish Cup winners. Although I don't know which one of the guys it is. It's really pointed out to me.
I found my reading glasses away.
I know Martin O'Neill straight away. I don't know which one. Oh well, there's actually a team list there just beneath it, but I could probably just pick into that. I can indeed. There is indeed. And I recognise a few names there actually. Davy Meldrum's name there as well.
Well, the fellow who wore that shirt is coming up this afternoon. Alan McCarroll.
Alan McCarroll. That's one of the 71 Cup winner shirts there. This one here, this Tom Finney, is Sir Tom Finney. Now, Sir Tom was a Preston plumber. All his career played for Preston North End, despite many clubs, including Italian clubs, trying to offer him big bucks to come and play for them in the 50s. In 1963, of all the teams in Europe, it was Distillery that actually managed to coach him out of retirement, and Tom played his only ever competitive European match against Benfica. The banners from those two games against Benfica are here as well. Now, that's only half the story. Benfica against Distillery, you would have imagined, what, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0? Benfica went through on away goals in a 3-3 draw. Not bad going for an Irish League team. What a difference an hour makes. Full social club for today's match against Glenavon. We're about 10 minutes away from kick-off. And what a difference an hour makes to the car park as well. One thing I noticed here as well, Whites and Glenavon fans mixing freely, mixing happily, not a problem at all. We'll go down and take a look here. It's just about 10 minutes to kick off. I say most of the fans are still up there in the social club, but that's very much an Irish League thing anyway. So we go down. BBC are here to film, obviously, as well as they will be. That'll be shown on Final Score tonight. When I come round, the first few diehards have settled into the stand, and we will find our pitch. And that's the voice from Radio Ulster to tell us what's going to happen as the game goes ahead. I'm not sure whether that's Glenavon fans over there or not, but sort of the feeling of away fans. It is indeed Glenavon fans. Decided to go over and stand over in the away end, watch the game. Stadiums are all very well, but they're no good unless you actually play some sport on them. Lisburn Distillery are in all white, Glenavon, their opponents, in all blue. As I say, Lisburn pushing for a European place at the moment in these early stages of the Irish League. Glenavon will go above them if they beat them today.